ever if elected to the presidency. Tammy Rose reports.
That's according to the 69-year-old Republican presidential candidate's doctor. Trump released a letter from his physician Monday outlining his latest medical exam. His doctor of 25 years, Dr. Harold Bornstein, says the GOP frontrunner has no significant medical problems with better than average blood pressure. The doctor also declared Trump's cardiovascular health to be excellent. His only surgery, an appendectomy when he was 10 years old. If elected, Trump would be the oldest U.S. president in history. I'm Tammy Rose.
Cincinnati Reds legend Pete Rose will weigh in on Major League Baseball's decision not to reinstate him later today. Commissioner Rob Manfred has chosen to leave Rose's lifetime ban from the sport in place. Manfred issued a statement saying the now 74-year-old Rose has not presented credible evidence of a reconfigured life and that allowing him to work in the game presents an unacceptable risk of a future violation by him. Rose is expected to hold a news conference this afternoon. An Oklahoma man is under arrest for allegedly crashing his pickup truck into the lobby of a hotel. KWTV reports that 62-year-old John Parsley had been staying at the Comfort Inn and Suites in Alva, Oklahoma on December 10th when he became angry over his final bill and allegedly threatened to drive his pickup into the building if he didn't get a full refund. Parsley got his refund but slammed his truck into the hotel lobby anyway. No one was hurt, and Parsley was arrested for assault with a weapon. For breaking news, we're at westernjournalism.com. I'm Melody Burkett.
Fox Sports Trending now.
A lot of business going on in the National Football League. Carolina Panthers are 13-0 this season, but it has not been easy. Might get even a little bit harder now. Greg Olsen had a precautionary MRI on his knee. He is expected to give it a go in Week 15, but that can't be said for Jonathan Stewart. He has a sprained foot, and his status is unknown. Patriots tailback LeGarrette Blount is in crutches. Jaguars TJ Yeldon has a sprained knee. And because of that, they've been in acquisition as they picked up running back Jonas Gray. Baltimore Ravens have another quarterback. That is Ryan Mallett. His new deal with the club can be worth $2.5 million in 2016. Dropping down in the college ranks, Clemson wide receiver Artavius Scott underwent an operation to clean up his meniscus. He should be 100% for the college football playoff. For a complete scoreboard, head on over to foxsports.com. I'm David Gascon. We are Fox.
Awesome. My name is AD. Your name will be forgotten. You suck, and I'm so awesome. You suck, and I'm so awesome. You suck, and I'm so awesome. My name is AD. Your name will be forgotten. AD coming around like the renegade master. Suckers try to step to me, the head for disaster. Your pathetic phonetics suck a lot, not a little. Better bring a wheelchair, cause I'm leaving you a cripple. I'm supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You're coming closer to me, I'll get ferocious. Yo, you suck, yo, I'm totally hype. And when I'm rocking upon the mic, I rock the mic like busy, I'm steady, making you dizzy. I'm steady ruling the city, making you wonder who is he. Let's leave it at this, I'm just better than you. And I happen to be the guy that did your mom too. Hey, here I go, sucker, I'm a smash. You're in class, but you fail, never pass. Cause your rhymes all are trash. And when you're grabbing the microphone, you're a wannabe. Better be recognizing, yo, that's all you're ever gonna be. You suck, and I'm so awesome. You suck, and I'm so awesome. You suck, and I'm so awesome. My name is AD, your name will be forgotten. You suck, and I'm so awesome. You suck, and I'm so awesome. You suck, and I'm so awesome. My name is AD, your name will be forgotten. I got the rhyme scheme, yo, to make your whole team cry. Every time I'm on the mic, you die a little bit inside. So grab a rope, get open, hang yourself, and get it over with. You're recognizing that you're rhyming like a third grade bitch. Boo, I'm so sorry, I'm making you suckers mad. I'm pissing all over your dreams, that's all you ever have. But I'm sincerely here to tell you losers, even if it's rough, to keep your day job, cause you will never be good enough. Smart like a computer, rule like a dictator.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio.
Every day you're going and working, running that rat race at that pace and that place will leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So buddy, I gotta say that yo, there's gotta be a better way, yeah. And you do what they told ya, company man, feel it, a mindless little soldier. How can you live like that and maintain your composure before it's begun? Your life's already freaking over. Yeah, I do what I want, when I want, how I want.
So, are you doing that thing this year? Are you doing that thing where you promise yourself that you're going to be a ripped, toned, shredded super athlete? by the time swimsuit season rolls around. If you're like me, you spend a good portion of the summer waddling and sweating around the beaches, hoping that you wouldn't get mistaken for a beached whale and accidentally get harpooned. Are you doing that thing where you're just like, I'm going to eat this many ounces of lean protein, this much tofu, do this much cardio, and by May, I'm going to be well on my way to being a ripped, toned, shredded super athlete with single-digit body fat and a noticeable six-pack? And do you think that's all going to go badly wrong right around January 1st at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when you go, I'm a little peckish. What do we have? Oh, Christmas leftovers. How about if we throw everything in a skillet, deep fry it, and eat ourselves into a coma again? Oh, well, maybe 2017 will be my year to finally get in shape. That's, I think, the way most of us go through resolutions. I mean, whenever I have a New Year's resolution, that's what I do. I go, this is my New Year's resolution, and I'm going to keep it, and then I absolutely don't keep it. But it doesn't bother me that much, only because, I believe in, I don't even like to call them setting goals. That sounds like something a motivational speaker would say. When you set goals, blah, blah, blah. No. I like to keep my eyes on the prize pretty much year-round. And sort of like check in, I don't know, as often as possible. Take a good hard look at where my life's at and where it's going and whether or not I'm getting closer to or further away from the things that I want to do and the things I want to be. And I think there's this enormous pressure that people put on themselves. They do it on their birthday and they do it on New Year's, where they're like, okay, next year things are going to be different. And that's great, and that's fine. And, if you have a birthday, maybe one with a 0 at the end of it, or if you have sort of like something else that marks another year gone by, I don't know, maybe, your work date start, or if you're in a crappy marriage, maybe your anniversary, you're like, I promised myself things would be better, or I would be, taking decisive action to get myself out of this hellhole, or whatever the case may be. Whatever that 1 year marker is, people tend to live and die by it, whether that's a birthday, whether that's New Year's, whether that's a work anniversary or something. People go, okay, now you're going to see some stuff because another year has gone by and I'm still miserable. And that tends to not work, because you get sent into some sort of like tailspin panic over the state of life, the universe, and everything in your world, and then you go and do a bunch of harebrained things, and none of it really pans out, because people want stuff overnight. It's that millennial disease, wanting instant gratification, which honestly everybody has had since the dawn of time. We want something and we want it now. I think millennials are just bigger about saying it. And also, they have a harder time understanding the concept of they can't have it right now. We all want it right now, or where we can't have it right now. Millennials expect it right now. We want it right now, and we're not necessarily willing to take the steps to get things in a slow, measured way. But that's really all it's about. It's about checking in with yourself on a regular basis, about not waiting for a year to click over before you make a bunch of harebrained schemes and before you come up with a bunch of harebrained schemes to achieve your goals. It's about taking your own temperature, which sounds dirty, but it's not. It's about taking your own temperature on a regular basis and trying to figure out where you're headed and if you're happy with that, and being honest with yourself and not freaking out and being like, all right, well, maybe I'm not where I want to be, but how do I move there? And it's a bad idea to wait for New Year's to come around to do that. That said, we're going to talk about the most common New Year's resolutions for 2016. But I would encourage you got something you want to do? Do it today. Start today. Check in with yourself after the first of the year. You'll get there. You just have to apply yourself. Days like this, when I feel untouchable, I try and make up for all the wrongs I did, by living my life like a Cosby kid, jamming on the one like Theo and Stevie.
iHeartRadio shines the spotlight on Queen.
She's a killer queen, gunpowder integrity, dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind.
Queen formed in London in 1970, originally consisting of Freddie Mercury as lead vocal and piano, Brian May guitar and vocals, John Deacon on bass, and Roger Taylor behind the drums. Before joining Queen, Brian May and Roger Taylor had been playing together in a band named Smile with bassist Tim Stafford. Freddie Mercury, then known as Freddie Bulsara, was a fan of Smile and encouraged them to experiment with more elaborate stage and recording techniques. After Staffel's departure in 1970, Mercury himself joined the band shortly thereafter, changed the name of the band to Queen, and adopted his familiar stage name. John Deacon joined the band, and in 1973, the debut album Queen was released. Both the debut and its follow-up, Queen 2, were successful in the UK.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Queen coming up.
Just a minute, Jen. I need to talk to you. Mom, I don't have time now. I gotta go. Jen, wait, Jen!
Staying connected with your kids is tough. As a parent, you need to do whatever it takes, and the Boys Town National Hotline can help.
Come on, Jen. Let's go. I can't believe it. My mom just texted me. She knows how to text? Huh. Better see what she wants.
From parenting questions to a family crisis, let the Boys Town National Hotline help you connect with your kids. Call 1-800-448-3000 or visit parenting.org today.
Like most kids from a privileged white upper-middle-class suburban background, for a significant portion of his childhood, he was pretty convinced he was down. AD on the radio.
Let's go, talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight, walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah. You've been talking about me for a long time.
So what are your New Year's resolutions? He said, having spent the last 10, 15 minutes or so talking about how New Year's resolutions weren't necessarily the best idea and how it just set you up for failure and how you should kind of set goals periodically throughout the year and check in with yourself rather than waiting for a birthday, maybe one with a 0 at the end of it, or a New Year's Eve to make determinations about where your life is headed. But what are your New Year's resolutions? Because we're going to talk about some of the most common ones on the show today. Have a think about that. But I guess really what we should do before we go too much further is we should welcome back our former intern and host of the #1 hip-hop podcast on the internet, and a guy who I believe is having a birthday today. Welcome back to the show, Concept 714. Yay!
Thank you. I feel honored. Yes, it is my birthday, and it's I can't believe I'm 21. You know what I mean? That the way time flies, it's just...
Now you can finally have your first sip of alcohol.
You know, I'm already drunk. I'm way ahead of you. No, being on the other side of 30 really kind of put things in perspective, but I'm excited. I can't wait to see what the world has to offer.
Welcome to our world, buddy.
No. Oh, wait. Funkhouse, you're still 34, right?
Yeah.
For the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Shut up, you.
But see, you're just turning 30, right, Concept?
31.
Oh, 31. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
Today I'm 31.
All right, so you're in before you were 30, now you're officially in your 30s.
Exactly. Yeah.
How old's your wife?
My wife is 29 or 30. Yeah, she'll be 30 next year. So it's all downhill from here. Whatever's hard, I think uphill is really what you want to say, not downhill, right?
I don't know, but I do know this. I read somewhere recently that women are their hottest at age 32 or 33. That's when sort of... Yeah. So you still got the good stuff to look forward to. You still got the good stuff to look forward to.
I appreciate it, but I'm gonna debate that there's nothing like a hot 24-year-old. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, 20. Think about a hot 24-year-old Salma Hayek. It just doesn't get better than
often.
That. As I do. The spank bank is open, and
as I did twice in the shower this morning.
It's one of the first withdrawals I make is a 24-year-old. I'm just saying, but I appreciate the support.
Appreciate the support. Is your wife listening?
I hope not. I really do. Otherwise, I'm in big trouble. No.
Yeah.
She's amazing. And the world is my oyster, or other gross seafood.
Or other gross analogies involving seafood that looks and tastes like snot.
I never understood it. I have.
Dude,
yes.
So you've tried the oyster bar thing where you just go sort of like you crack open the oysters, you put hot sauce on it, and they're like, you got to let it slide down your throat without chewing it. It's honestly like boogers is what it is. And it's like really, really expensive boogers. And I will never, ever understand it. But you know what you guys are that I am not. You guys are now officially, you're closer to 30, and Funkhauser not so much. He's on pretty thin ice.
Wow.
But you guys are closer to 30 than you are to 40.
Yes,
and
that is true.
One thing I've noticed about those big birthdays, like I guess 21 is a big one. I never really gave 21 too much thought because growing up in England, the drinking age is 18. So like I turned 18 when I was in England, and that was kind of a big deal. But then I turned 21 when I was in America, and people were like, "You can drink now," and I was like, "I don't." And I've been doing that for years previous, so whatever. But like 21's a big deal, I suppose. I thought 25 was kind of a big deal because then you're like, you're closer to 30 than you are to 20. And then turning 30 is clearly a big deal to a lot of people. And here's the thing that I've noticed about these big birthdays. The anticipation of the large birthdays. It's like you are going up a roller coaster, with a steep drop off, and it's that slow climb where it's like click, 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 and the adrenaline's building. You're like, crap, oh God, oh no, oh God. And then you get there and it's really nothing. I was like, you don't feel any different. It's like we're talking about goal setting. It's like one specific day where nothing is really different. Now, if you look at the overall passage of time, you might notice that you start to feel a little different, look a little different. You might pull out pictures from a couple years ago and going, what was I thinking with that haircut? Or whatever the hell fashion error it was you made. But it's a slow, progressive thing, and people put so much focus around a specific day, and I actually think that distracts you. I think that distracts you from kind of going where you're supposed to be going. So, don't sweat the fact that you're 31. You got another 9 years before you have to worry about a birthday with a zero behind it. And I think you have a new decade in which to make your mark, and you're right at the very front of it. Like, when did you start Wake the Flock Up, your podcast, the number one hip hop podcast in the world?
It started about 2 years ago, a little bit over 2 years. And I've told you this story. I was 28, and I said, if I have not accomplished anything in hip hop, I'm going to go ahead and just gracefully step away and continue to, support and still go to shows and listen to music. But I really need to focus my life somewhere, Right. And when we started the show, it took off, and now it's built off to be something that I could never imagine and taking me places that, I can only have dreamed of. So I believe that after reaching the 2-year mark, which is my 30th birthday, this is it. This is what I was meant to do. And you're absolutely right. You put so much focus on your birthday that you kind of feel bad about the rest of the days of the year where you've accomplished way more than just sitting around getting drunk at Buffalo Wild Wings that night, Which is my game plan for tonight, by the way.
Speak for yourself. Yeah, I was going to say. Well, that's it's very true and very telling and very interesting. And congratulations on all your successes. You can listen to Concept 714 on Wake the Flock Up at waketheflockup.net. It's on SoundCloud. It's on iHeartRadio. It's on Spreaker. It's on all the podcasting platforms. He did an interview with yours truly the other day, which I think is going to really upset most of the people that listen to that show to talk about indie hip hop. But it's an amazing, amazing podcast. And the thing that he can do that we talk about on a regular basis, and what makes it so good, is it doesn't matter if he's interviewing one of your favorite artists. It doesn't matter if he's interviewing somebody that you've never heard of before. He can pull stories out of them and make them interesting, and it's just a fascinating show. Do yourself a favor. Check it out now. You can download the podcast, or you can just listen to it, stream it from Wake the Flock Up with a K.net. Alrighty then, let's get into the events of today in our segment, My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair, certainly not balanced. We know how Concept is. Funkhauser, how are you? How you doing? How's everything going?
I'm micless. Leave me alone.
You have no microphone?
I'm micless. Go away.
So we can talk about Funkhauser, and he won't really be able to respond?
He can hear you, but he won't respond. Yes.
I can't even push buttons.
Oh, God.
I've taken over the boards today. You're under my mercy, so be careful.
All right, let's talk about what's going on in the world.
As it would have it, the Golden Globes nominations were announced. Did you notice?
Yeah. Unlike the Oscars, the Golden Globes honor TV. Also, unlike the Oscars, I don't think anybody really gives a crap about them.
Exactly.
Do you know what the Golden Globes are? I always think of, Salma Hayek's, honestly, when someone says Golden Globes. I think of that 24-year-old Salma Hayek when I hear Golden Globes, or perhaps Sofia Vergara. But, Wow, interesting. I just noticed that my two sort of like go-to chest-related fantasies are both Hispanic, which is weird. Interesting.
Is it? Well, they got? No, you got that model, too, though. Kate, what's her name? Kate somewhere. Upton. There you go.
Kate Upton?
Yeah.
She's mighty white.
Yeah, and she's pretty Golden Globed herself.
The Globes are, in fact, golden on that one. Is your wife Hispanic?
Yes, she is. Oh, man, we're spending a lot of time talking about my wife here. I feel a little off. Yes, she's Hispanic. Yes. She's 29 years old. She's about 5'4". Yeah.
These are details that I do not require. I'm just
a nice
curious.
Set of globes.
Let me ask you this: Do you have?
Hey.
Great, thanks. You mentioned the globes. Now I'm picturing them. Let me ask you this:
I'm listening.
Do you have a type? Have you always been into like Hispanic women?
Well, my type is short.
Shorts.
I have a thing for short girls.
Interesting.
Not to a certain standard. I'm not saying little person short, but anything in 4, 5 feet tall, that's kind of hot, I think.
4 or 5 feet tall. Well, like 5 feet tall falls into a range of normal. 4 feet tall. 4 feet tall. You're going wherever you're going on a date. You're following the yellow brick road there.
Wow. I'm around 5 feet tall. I don't know. I'm not the tallest thing in the world, so around 5 feet works for me.
Around 5 feet works for you. Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I came through when I was younger. I used to be into like the more exotic the more exotic, the better. Like anything that was sort of like I really had a thing for sort of like Asian. I've never been into sort of like I guess Asian in the sense of Japanese or Chinese, but like Asian or I guess Middle Eastern girls. Like I had a lot of those at my high school because it was this sort of like international school. I was totally into that. Or I was into sort of like Hispanic or anything other than sort of what I was, which is extremely, extremely white. And that was when I was younger, and I noticed sort of like kind of come full circle in my taste. Now I have this saying, which is I'm not racist, but my junk is. It likes white. It likes white chicks. That's what I like, and I don't know why that is. And it's nothing to do with race or anything. It's just like it's my natural predisposition. You know what I think it is? I think it's sort of like as you get older and you think about maybe reproducing. I think on a primordial genetic level, I think you are wired to believe that if you breed with someone that has more genetic traits in common with you than not, the offspring will be stronger and healthier. I think that's the idea. I think that, but I'm not entirely positive. I think
racist.
No, I think like on a. No, on a subconscious level. That's what people, that's kind of, and that's how kind of people feel. It's like it goes back to dog breeding. Do you want a purebred or do you want a mutt? But it's what's interesting is.
I want boobs.
Boobs, yeah. Those are the overriding factor. But, yeah.
Any color boobs, really, I'm for. My junk is an equal opportunity junk.
You guys know we're on the air, right?
Equal opportunity.
Yeah, it's not. Your junk is the Donald Trump of junks. Mine is Barack Obama of I see no color, and together we can.
That's not true. Barack Obama married someone that was like the same race as him.
Yeah, but you can't tell me Barack Obama didn't get laid in college. He has a light-skinned, cool black guy look. He got the white girls, the black chicks, the Hispanics. And he was born in Hawaii. Come on, no.
Really? Being born in Hawaii does it for people?
Well, it's like, oh, hey, I was born in Burbank. I was born in Hawaii. You're like, oh, okay, that's what's up.
I guess it depends on where you go. Like, I guess it depends on where you go. Like, if you went to England and said, I'm from Burbank, where's that? Los Angeles, people would be like, I say, I would just... Seeing you naked would be fantastic.
Cheerio!
But like, I say cheerio and pip pip, should you know what I mean, and I believe you do.
What's all this then? Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your...
Yes, AD. My junk... it loves all types. a female.
If you could stop saying my junk so often on the show, that would be great. All right, continue.
Speaking of my junk, the Chinese... the Chinese poster for Star Wars The Force Awakens. Oh, this is not good.
There's actually coffee went up my nose. Sorry.
This is actually not great for me because the shrinks down the black eye. It makes him a lot less noticeable. So,
yeah, I saw this. The Chinese poster for Star Wars is The Force Awakens. Yeah, the black guy who is the star of the movie, or one of the stars of the movie,
Yeah.
it puts him in a much less prominent position.
Wow.
Less like a movie poster and a lot more like a Trump rally. Let me ask you this. Hey, Funkhauser.
What?
While you're back there hanging out doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Can you look up the video of Michael Che talking about Donald Trump on Weekend Update? Because, he hit it on the head. I really think he hit it on the head this past weekend, just gone by on Weekend Update, where he was discussing Donald Trump and racism, saying, don't think Donald Trump's a racist. And what's interesting about it is, he said all these things that make people go, oh, that's a lot like what Hitler said. That's very similar to what led a failed German art student with a laughable mustache to commit genocide. And anybody that's kind of, I think, grown up in or around the New York area where Donald Trump is an omnipresent force, I don't think feels like the Donald is racist just because they've seen him in action. And Michael Che had a really great slant on that. Hopefully we can find it during the break.
This is USA Radio News. I'm Melody Burkett. Los Angeles public schools are closed today due to a terror threat. We get more from senior correspondent Jason Wirt.
Thanks, Melody. All the schools in Los Angeles are now closed because of an unspecified threat. Los Angeles Unified School District Superintendent Ramon Cortinez explains to reporters.
Just after 5 o'clock, I received a phone message from Chief Zipperman, the school police, and he shared with me the threat that had been made to not one school, but many schools in this school district.
He said he would update later in the day, and the schools should be open tomorrow. Back to you, Melody.
House Republicans want to require reviews of social media posts by people applying for visas to enter the U.S. The House Judiciary Committee announced that it's working on legislation to tighten the screening process. This is USA Radio News. I'm Melody Burkett.
The holidays are an enjoyable time of year, but amid all the hustle and bustle, it's important to remember there are various safety precautions you should take while little ones are running around your home. One room in your home that can easily be forgotten is the laundry room. All household products such as dishwasher soaps, deodorants, and laundry packets must be kept out of reach of children. A recent study by the American Cleaning Institute found that 61% of parents are storing laundry packets in sight or in reach of children. If ingested or exposed to the eyes, these products can be harmful. The American Cleaning Institute is reminding parents and caregivers to keep little ones out of harm's way by storing liquid laundry packets up high, out of reach and sight, and in their original container. And remember to keep the package tightly sealed before, during, and after use. To learn more, visit keypledge.com and take the pledge for a safe laundry room and routine. You'll be automatically entered into a sweepstakes to win a laundry room makeover.
Trending. And this update is brought to you by TrueCar. Find the new car you want, see what others paid, and lock in guaranteed savings from TrueCar certified dealers. Save time, save money, and never overpay. Download the TrueCar app today. In the NFL on Monday Night Football, the Giants beat the Dolphins in Miami 31-24. Eli Manning had a pair of touchdown passes to Odell Beckham Jr. One of them in the fourth quarter was an 84-yarder, and that was the game winner. New York with the win improves to 6-7 on the year, and they're tied with the Redskins and Eagles for first place in the NFC East. Right now, Washington does hold the tiebreaker. By the way, that Dolphins loss means that the Patriots have clinched their 7th straight AFC East title. Cincinnati Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis says starting quarterback Andy Dalton is week to week with a broken right thumb on his throwing hand. He will not need surgery. In baseball, the San Francisco Giants signed free agent pitcher Johnny Cueto. He gets a 6-year deal worth $130 million. Some NBA games of note: Clippers in overtime beat the Pistons 105-103. Spurs down the Jazz 118-81.
iHeartRadio puts the spotlight on Bon Jovi. 1988's New Jersey hit number 1 in both the U.S. and in the U.K. and had 2 more number 1 hits in Bad Medicine and I'll Be There For You. The band mounted a massive tour of more than 22 countries and 232 shows, including a sold-out homecoming at Giant Stadium in New Jersey. Following 16 months of non-stop touring, Bon Jovi's members were exhausted, and the band went their separate ways in 1990 with no future plans. They worked out their differences and released Keep the Faith in 1992, but the album was a letdown from New Jersey, though Bed of Roses hit number 10 on the charts. In 1994, Bon Jovi had its first lineup change when bassist Such was fired from the band and unofficially replaced by Hugh McDonald. McDonald's first album was 1995's These Days, which hit number 1 in the UK and Japan, but was considered a disappointment in the US. Following the album's release, the members of Bon Jovi took a 2-year hiatus. All things Bon Jovi. Info, music, and more are on iHeartRadio. Keyword Bon Jovi.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Mike Rutherford to discuss that even though there were generational difficulties, his father was always quite supportive.
You know, you've got to understand, I'm sure it's the same over here, but in the UK, in England, you know, that generational change from my father's era to my era, you know, he was the English Empire days, 2 world wars. It was hard to communicate. There was a big divide between us. It's just, there was no dialogue really. You couldn't discuss things because there was no sort of platform to share conversations on. But no, he was supportive, and in a way, you know, given that he hadn't got a clue what I was doing, you know, what parent did in those days, you know, music, long hair and a guitar, he was given that. He was very supportive.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Mike Rutherford and all your favorite artists.
Now, more AD on the radio.
Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me. Back once again, the ill behavior, delivering and giving you a musical savior. Back once again, it's your boy AD again. Nobody rock a party better than me.
Alrighty then, before we get to New Year's resolutions and the most common ones made, let's you and I discuss Donald Trump a little bit. You can hit the news bed. In case you are just joining us, we are joined in the studio today by our former intern and host of the #1 hip-hop podcast in the world, Wake the Flock Up, which you can check out at waketheflockup.net. Our friend and yours, Concept 714. Go on, continue to read the news in fine fashion, Concept.
Okay, Star Wars news. A list of the cities with the most single Star Wars fan is out.
Mm-hmm. In other words, a list of the cities with the most Star Wars fans is out. Have you seen the people that have started like getting in line already? Like started getting in line a couple weeks ago?
Ugh.
It's. I mean, like,
That
are
movie
you a Star
theater is
Wars
gonna
fan?
stink.
Concept?
You know what? I love the first 3. I think we all did.
Yeah.
The last 3 were not great. So this one's a brand new director. So I'm kind of weary. There's a lot of ways to mess it up, I think. Just because everyone's expecting so much.
I think this Star Wars movie, to be considered a hit, has to make $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion is how much it has to bring in, because they bought Star Wars for $4 billion or something like that from George Lucas.
Yeah.
People are like, I don't understand how he could sell it all off. $4 billion with a B is how he could sell it all off. And, he was entrusting it to Disney and J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams, for those that don't know, is responsible for things like The Avengers and Firefly, which, have you ever seen Firefly?
I have, yes. Excellent show.
Fantastic.
Yep.
And really kind of like the thing about J.J. Abrams is he never, I guess the thing that made him sort of like famous, got him up in the game, was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right? Which everybody thought was like a ridiculous goof. But people that watch it are just like, oh my God, he really knows how to develop characters. It doesn't matter what fantastical setting he's putting these characters in, he will make you care about them. He doesn't forget, he doesn't get lost in the flash and the glitz of it all. There's plenty of flash and glitz with him, but that's all icing on a cake that's baked up big and fat and sweet, and he kind of knows what he's doing. And it's a tremendous responsibility being entrusted with the Star Wars franchise. because he's sweating bullets because he's got to make $1.5 billion off of this movie. But allegedly, early reports and early reviews say he's done a really, really good job. But yeah, the people standing in line, I don't understand the people standing in line because I mean, I guess you're vying for a good seat, but it's been sold out for months now. It's like you either have a ticket or you don't. Standing in line is not going to get you one, you know? So it's just like, I don't know, nerdy people willing to do nerdy things. And everyone's joking about the fact that, well, people are just like, people have already started lining up for Star Wars. And when asked to comment, their girlfriends didn't exist. But did you hear the other big thing? The other thing that's supposed to really sort of pack people into the theaters, pack the thing that's designed to take the nerd dollar from the general population with the new Star Wars movies. Did you hear what they announced is happening at the screening of it the other week?
No, what? What do they got going on?
They are showing a new trailer for a new Star Trek movie right in front of the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And by the way, just by saying that sentence, I think my virginity grew back. But it's a really, really big deal.
Do those
in that
nerd
world.
genres cross over? You know, do you think they beef like the Bloods and the Crips? Like they're like, this is Star Trek, homie. No, this is Star Wars and Boba Fett and Spock. No,
unbelievably wussy beef that involves a lot of sort of like
Team Spock.
Breaks to take a huff off of your inhaler, but look,
how much acne is involved? Is going to be in that movie?
Those guys have got a lot of money to spend. You know, they've lived in their mom's basement their entire life and have saved copious amounts of cash by not doing things like going on dates. So there's a lot of money to be made off of these people.
Sure, yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, like I say, these people, really, I am one of those people. I only sort of like gave up, my nerdy sci-fi-dom after I discovered girls. I was like in the 8th grade. I was like, comic books cost this much. That's about the same as a date. And if I ever want to see or touch a boob, it's a very good idea if I take some of this money and attempt to ask a girl out for a hamburger or something like that. So,
right.
Yeah.
I will say I have seen some hot cosplay females walking around though.
So there's a lot of people that don't trust the hot cosplay females because one thing that sort of like adult actresses and models have realized is that you can get a lot of pictures taken of you and up your online profile if you dress up as like Princess Leia or sexy Boba Fett or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So there's a lot of people out there that aren't the real deal, that aren't gamers, that don't know people that don't know what they're dressed as. At least females, because no guy is making money by dressing up like Darth Vader really, but females can make an awful lot of money by dressing up like superheroes. Given in mind that superheroes have been drawn for the last 50 years to look like Dolly Parton in Zero Gravity. There's good money to be made off of that. So,
it is ingenious.
Yeah, but there are, but then there's like the freaking unicorns, the girls that actually are into that stuff that do dress up, like Allie Hayes, the adult superstar Allie Hayes that we've had on the show a couple times. She can school you on all the nerdy stuff, and she was in the Star Wars porn parody, and she games, and she really knows what she's talking about with that stuff.
That I'll stand in line for.
See, that exactly. That is the unicorn, like a girl that's authentically nerdy, but also smoking hot and plays dress up. In that world, that's the unicorn. Go on.
Speaking of lists, the Huffington Post did a list of people's favorite holiday smells.
Yeah.
Of smells.
Somehow Dad's bathroom after turkey dinner didn't make that list.
That's true. Did you know that Google wants to create an algorithm that eliminates online hate speech?
Yeah. I wonder if it would just, like, if you're using Google Chrome, would it just take it out of everything that you look at? Or is it a choice that you can make? Don't want to look at hate speech. Wouldn't it be easier to just delete Donald Trump's Twitter? Actually, you know what? You found the audio, right?
I did, yes.
Michael Che from Weekend Update.
You have no time right now to do that.
No time? All right, we'll do it right when we get back. Because I think Michael Che from Weekend Update hit the nail on the head when describing Donald Trump. Well, if you're a native New Yorker, there's a very big chance that you don't find him to be a racist because you've been around him for the last couple of years. And we'll get into the whys and wherefores of that next.
Of my
Spotlight. 1974.
In April, Diamond Dogs is a #1 album in the UK for David Bowie. It goes to #5 in the US.
Rebel, rebel, you torn your dress. Rebel, rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so.
In June of 1974, Chicago funk band Rufus, featuring lead singer Shaka Khan, score a #3 hit with Tell Me Something Good. UK supergroup Bad Company have a #1 album and a top 5 single, Can't Get Enough.
Can't get enough, enough of your love. I can't get enough, enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love. Yeah, this one, this one. Whoa. Oh, come on, baby.
And Dutch hard rock band Golden Earring have a #13 hit with the single Radar Love.
Radar Love. Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up.
iHeartRadio puts the spotlight on Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi stayed active through the 2000s and 2010s, with their 10th studio album, 2007's Lost Highway, being their first #1 debut. It also had more of a country sound after the success of the band's 2006 duet with Jennifer Nettles, Who Says You Can't Go Home, which hit #1 on the U.S. country chart. John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora were both inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2009. Bon Jovi released their 12th studio album, What About Now, in 2013. A rift with Richie Sambora and John Bon Jovi resulted in Sambora leaving the band in spring 2013. All things Bon Jovi. Info, music, and more are on iHeartRadio. Keyword Bon Jovi.
Now, someone who everybody wants to punch in the face. AD on the radio.
So, as you and I have talked about at length on this show, some of the things that Donald Trump has said recently have people going, that's diametrically opposed to everything that America was founded on. Freedom of religion is sort of what we're all about, and that's one of the tenets of being American. He is actively saying we got to investigate mosques and we got to not let any more Muslims come into America until we figure out what's going on here and how we're going to deal with it. Now, I'm not going to get into either side of the argument. We've done this ad infinitum on other shows, and I'll refer you back to those things. And know that we don't necessarily take a stance on either side of the situations. We're more sort of like observers that do our very best to understand how everyone is feeling at the moment. But I will say this, though. When I've talked about Donald Trump to friends, people are like, he's so racist. I was like, here's the thing. I grew up in New York, and if you've seen Donald Trump in action over the last, however long I was living in New York, if you've seen Donald Trump in action on a regular basis, you just don't get the overall vibe that he's racist. He's in the press so much, and if there was something that was going to evidence him as being racist, you feel like you would have seen it. Some sort of like obvious, hey, this guy's a racist type of situation that would have happened in the past. You can't live your life under that much, in the public eye that much, and not be outed in some way, shape, or form if you are a racist or a bigot or something like that, especially given the fact that Donald Control has no filter between his brain and his mouth. And Michael Che on Weekend Update really, I think, kind of hit the nail on the head with Donald Trump and racism. You got the audio, Funkhauser? Let's hear it.
This is going to sound crazy, but I don't believe Donald Trump is a racist. I think he's just pandering to the most prejudiced segment of the country. He's hustling them. His best friends are Mike Tyson, Don King, and Omarosa. I know black people that wouldn't hang out with those black people. Donald Trump is as much of a racist as he is a devout Christian gun fanatic. None of what he's saying is true. At this point, Trump is the political equivalent of a phone sex operator. He's just whispering whatever dirty little racist fantasies Republicans want to hear. And his supporters are hanging up saying, I think Donald Trump really likes me.
And I think, you know what, for me, that kind of hit the nail on the head. I think that's exactly what Donald Trump is doing. He's pandering until such a time where he gets the nomination. And I think you find people like that do that sort of thing all the time. It's politics. What did you say, Concept? He's a salesman and he's selling himself?
If anything, he's a great businessman. That you can't deny it. And right now he's in the business of selling this product, which is him. And he's selling it to the people he knows have the money and are into this product already. You know, he's a businessman. You can't you can't conduct a successful business without interacting with people from different races and religions and creeds. If he was truly a racist, right, he wouldn't shake hands with business deals with this type of people and that type of person and taking pictures with Mike Tyson and all these other people. He was never known to be a racist until now.
Yeah.
He was always just a big D-bag, right? That was it. Like, oh, there's that. But never racist until now. He's selling it to the masses, what he's doing.
And I don't necessarily understand how racism comes into it, because if anything, he's being prejudicial to people that have a certain religion. You know, like it's not necessarily associated with a specific race. I mean, there's a lot of Muslim people all over the world, and they come in many different shapes, sizes, and forms. And he's sort of, if anything, he's being prejudicial against a certain religion, which to me doesn't fall into the category of racism. But I believe that he's pandering by telling people that do believe that sort of thing what they want to hear. It's like Rand Paul. I think one of the things that frustrated me the most about Rand Paul was that, well, when Ron Paul came along, people liked this guy because he seemed like his principles were bulletproof. And he was kind of like crypt capery and old and rickety, and nobody sort of believed that it was okay to elect somebody that was, that looked that close to death. He just didn't seem overly healthy, and he was kind of like this kooky guy with this really high voice, but he had this bulletproof set of principles and bulletproof set of principles that were founded in being fundamentally American and doing the right thing. He just didn't inspire a ton of confidence. And when his son came along, Rand Paul, a lot of people thought, oh, this is great. This is like the $6 million Paul. We can rebuild him bigger, faster, better, stronger. And he'll be just like his dad, but, you know, he'll look better, he'll sound better, and he'll be more appealing to voters. And that wasn't really the case, I don't think. I think a lot of people that were big Ron Paul fans, a little disappointed by Rand. And I think one of the things that I think boggled a lot of people's minds was like Rand Paul, in the run-up to a time where he was going to be taking a swing at being president of these United States of America and leader of the free world, bearing in mind that he's a doctor, Rand Paul said something absolutely ridiculous, which is that gay marriage could lead to bestiality or would lead to bestiality. And you're a doctor. You know that's not true. That's fundamentally untrue. It's not like you know what? My neighbor got married to, he got married to him, and for that reason, the pig in the backyard is starting to look pretty good. No, it just doesn't happen that way. It's not in any way, shape, or form a possibility, and it's certainly not based in science. And he is a doctor. He understands this. He's a medical doctor, and he knows the scientific basis for this just doesn't exist. This precedent doesn't exist. But he can line his campaign finance coffers by saying something that a bunch of people that are stupid enough to believe something like that would agree with and go like, yeah, gay marriage will lead to bestiality, and therefore I'm going to give him a donation because he stands up for non-man-pig love. You know, that's the thing about politics. You got to pander to people, and I think what you're going to find is people like Donald Trump, people like Ted Cruz, who's a Bible thumper to the nth degree. People like Rand Paul, although I don't think Rand Paul's getting anywhere near the nomination at this stage in the game, but you never know. If they did secure the nomination, the Bible bashing, the things that are perceived as being racist or bigoted, all of this sort of like extremist behavior necessary to clinch the nomination and raise the bucks necessary to campaign for the gig of being president, all that stuff would go away once you snag the nomination, and you just focus on other things and quietly forget that you said that we're a Christian nation over and over again, because you got to appeal to voters that don't necessarily believe what you believe. And you're going to leave out the speech where you say, like, yeah, gay men getting married leads to bestiality. No presidential candidate that snags the nomination is going to be saying that sort of thing. But it's that sort of inflammatory thing that you say to get people riled up and to get people digging into their pockets and to get people in a frothy, unreasonable mess ready to vote for you. So, yeah, there's that. I don't actually believe Donald Trump is a racist. I don't believe that if he's saying things that people are considered racist, he's the most principled person. But you know what? I think I have a hard time picking out a presidential hopeful that is the most principled person in the world. Hey, let's roll through a couple more pieces of news with Concept 714 on his birthday before we talk about New Year's resolutions super quick. What else is going on in the world?
Well, let's see here. There's we've created a list of things that you don't want to hear at your company's Christmas party.
Oh, that's kind of, you know what? That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. Yeah, let's skip that. We don't have time for that. Maybe
okay.
we'll do that tomorrow's show.
I did want to mention something to you, and I'm hoping that you're okay with it.
Okay.
The only reason that I want to bring it up is because you are the man, and if anyone can make it happen, it's you.
Here we go.
You know, you got to do a little. You know.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I've just got to wipe some of this butter off of me.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? No, Wake the Flock Up, my podcast. We are campaigning to make it on the Adam Carolla show, and as you know, Adam Carolla is my guru, and we stand before you as a nation, saying, "Wake the flock up on Carolla." That's what you need to see next. I am doing the Bill. The Bill hand movement he does, and Obama does it now too. We're here campaigning. Wake the flock up on Carolla, the number one hip hop podcast on the number one podcast on the planet. And it is you, the AD listeners, that will make this happen. We ask that you hashtag Wake the flock up on Carolla, and that would make my birthday be immensely the best one I've had yet.
With a K.
That's right. So Wake the Flock Up with a K, no C. So the hashtag is Wake the Flock Up on Carolla. If you guys can tweet them, hashtag them, bug them until they say yes, because that's the way I book all my bookings.
That's how you do it?
I'm gonna sit outside of their office with a baseball bat and not harm them. Just stand there, with a club in my hand. That's it. That kind of thing. But yes, AD, I wanted to share that with you guys. And the home of the brave.
All right. Well, I think at this stage in the game, you're either getting on the show,
yes,
or you're getting a restraining order. Maybe both. I'm not.
Either way, I'd be a happy man to just have some interaction.
All right. So, people that are listening and want to help our man, Concept 714, achieve his New Year's resolution of being on Adam Carolla's podcast, which.
Wow.
Being on Adam Carolla's podcast. Hashtag Wake the Flock Up on Carolla. Is that it? That's the...
Yes, Wake the Flock Up on Carolla is what you wanted to hit. And that would be awesome.
All right, sweet. Well, good luck with that. And you know what? If there's anybody that's going to achieve their goals in the new year, I honestly believe that it is Concept 714. He is a dogged, determined guy that's made amazing things happen in his life with the force of his will alone, and you got to respect that. Right now, though, is the best time to make New Year's resolutions, according to a lot of people. Well, here's the deal. You got permission to keep slacking for the next couple of weeks without feeling too guilty, since you know things are going to change after that. New survey found the top 5 most common New Year's resolutions that people are planning on making in 2016. And it's the old standards with one twist. We know Concept's resolution to get Wake the Flock Up on the Adam Carolla podcast. What about you, Funkhauser? Got one? Maybe get a second microphone for the studio?
Yes. I don't know. Not be so fat. Eat better.
Eat better?
Yeah.
Are you? Do you feel fat?
Save money. Yeah, I feel fat. Every time I touch myself, I feel fat.
Every time. Are you what people would call, like, what's the expression, skinny fat? Where you're not a fat person, but you're just sort of like not ripped, toned, shredded.
What's so funny?
I'm regular fat.
I just looked at you and I don't see what is before me as being a fat person. But
too many cheeseburgers, man. I hit that wall. And now it's like all there, right there.
Is the vegan girlfriend, sort of like helping?
That's why I need that resolution.
There's a problem with vegan food. It's lots of fried dough. It's lots of like fried
it's the
carbs.
Looks that you're being given, the stares you're being shot while you try to put a double cheeseburger down your gullet. What? Why are you looking at me like that for?
All right. So the 5 most common New Year's resolutions. You named it, Funkhauser. In at number 1, 92% of people say save more money. 2, make new friends. Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. That's because you're sick of everybody that you're friends with on Facebook, especially around election time. You're like, oh, God, I need new friends. Make new friends.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
2 weeks before the movie's out.
82% of people say they want to make new friends, and they're not talking about dating, which seems random until you hear why. People say new friends mean more people to work out with, more happiness and promotions at work, and more job connections in general. 82% of us, mostly female, want to improve our looks because guys don't really care about that. 4, exercise more at 74%. And in at number 5, get a new job. Whatever your resolutions are, I hope you achieve them. And I hope that you don't get discouraged when they don't happen by January 2nd and that you just make them goals on an ongoing basis because, like we said before, you'll get there. You just got to apply yourself. Happy birthday, Concept 714. Thank you for joining us.